Oh man, my stomach really hurts.
Hello, Katie. Nice to meet you. My name's Dr. Moore. How are you feeling? What brings you in today?
Hey, Dr. Moore, I'm feeling okay. I just have a lot of stomach cramps and some nausea and a little bit of diarrhea.
That sounds like food poisoning. What was the last time you ate and what did you have to eat?
Well, 3 hours ago, I went to a picnic and I had egg salad with a side of a veggie patty.
Well, let me take your blood pressure and your temperature and your pulse. I'm also going to need a stool sample. It sounds like you have staph-related food poisoning.
Staph infection. That's kind of odd. My friend recently got a staph skin infection from an open wound. So how can the same agent cause food poisoning?
Well, staph can present with a variety of symptoms.
So wait, what is staph infection anyway? Staph infections occur from a gram-positive bacteria known as Staphylococcus. Staphylococcus bacteria are round or cock's-eye in shape and appear in grape-like clusters. There are at least 40 known species of Staphylococcus, the most common being Staphylococcus aureus. Staphylococcus aureus is specifically found in the nasal mucous membrane and/or on the skin and hair follicles. The bacteria colonizes in these areas, but does not cause disease unless it comes in contact with an open wound. Once a bacteria comes in contact with an open wound, the bacteria releases exotoxins, which break down the cell membranes, causing infectious symptoms. There are many different types of staph infection. They can range from mild conditions, like skin infections, to major life-threatening conditions like toxic shock syndrome. Staph infections can spread from person to person through contact or from contact with contaminated surfaces. Skin infections from staph bacteria can come in many forms. The most common form is boils. Boils are pus-filled pockets that form in hair follicles or oil glands. Another form of skin infection is impetigo, which causes a painful, contagious rash. Cellulitis is another type of staph infection that affects deeper layers of the skin. The last major form of skin infections is staphylococcal scalded skin syndrome. This infection is caused by toxins, which cause fever, rash, and sometimes blisters, which can pop and leave a mark that resembles a burn. It occurs most commonly in infants and children. Bacteremia is a more serious staphylococcus infection that causes blood poisoning. This can occur when a skin infection spreads deeper into tissues and the bacteria gain access to the bloodstream. The symptoms of this infection are fever and low blood pressure. Bacteremia can infect internal organs such as the heart, brain, bones, muscles, and can even affect implanted devices such as pacemakers. One of the most severe conditions caused by Staphylococcus is toxic shock syndrome. Toxic shock syndrome, or TSS, is a life-threatening condition caused by toxins from some forms of Staphylococcus bacteria. The syndrome is associated with skin wounds and surgery, but most often occurs from bacteria growth on a tampon when it is left inside a woman for too long. The symptoms of TSS are high fever, nausea, vomiting, rash on the palms of hands, confusion, muscle aches, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. If not treated immediately, toxic shock syndrome can lead to death.
Yep, those tests confirm it. You have staph-related food poisoning.
Oh, but how did I catch it?
Foodborne illnesses from staph come from the food being kept at neither hot nor cold enough for temperature. Foods like meat, poultry, eggs, salads like egg salad are common carriers of staph.
That's interesting. The egg salad smelled fine.
Well, the toxins that cause food poisoning don't spoil the food, so it appears normal.
Okay. Well, what are toxins?
Staphylococcus aureus produces an enterotoxin. Enterotoxins are toxins that target the cells of the intestines, which kills them. The killing of those cells causes the symptoms such as diarrhea.
Alright, well, how do I fix this food poisoning?
Well, staph-related food poisoning usually goes away on its own within 12 hours. If you have more severe symptoms like dehydration or muscle cramping, you can come back and we can manage those. Even give you some antibiotics.
Alright, well, speaking of antibiotics, I heard there's a certain type of infection that's resistant to most types of antibiotics. What infection is this?
Well, the infection you're talking about is called MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. It's a type of staph bacteria that's resistant to most antibiotics that are used to treat normal staph. It's often called the superbug.
Okay, where do you even catch this superbug?
Well, there are two main types, hospital-associated and community-associated. Hospital-associated MRSA comes from staying in the hospital and being exposed to the bug. People come to the hospital with one problem and leave with another, MRSA. Hospital-associated is much more common than the other type, community-associated, which happens within the community and doesn't require a hospital stay. It comes from frequent close contact with others, such as among teammates, military recruits, prisoners, daycare attendees, etc.
What are the other types of MRSA?
Well, you can also get it from animals. This is called zoonotic MRSA. The animals serve as reservoirs, so if they scratch you, bite you, come in contact with you, you can catch the disease. Also, raw meat and poultry can also spread MRSA as well.
Oh wow. So how do you treat it?
Well, MRSA is treated with a specific combination of antibiotics, including vancomycin. Sometimes you need an IV to insert the liquid antibiotics.
Alright, well that's cool and all, but back to food poisoning and staph. What prevention methods should I be taking so I don't get this again?
Well, practicing good hygiene, avoiding contact with contaminated people and objects, covering and sanitizing wounds immediately, and taking cautious measures with food preservation. Never let someone or yourself touch food that's sitting out at room temperatures. Bacteria need to grow in order to produce enterotoxins. If you do speak to a food handler, make sure they don't touch ready-to-eat food with their bare hands. This minimizes the chances that staph will be present and will contaminate the food.
Awesome. I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
Feel better.